Welcome back to another episode of Body Majic. It's been a little bit since we've had the guy sitting next to me. Jono, welcome back.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Well, we thought what we're going to do today is we've got a guest. The guest is Jono, but we don't quite have a big name guest. So what we thought we'd do is...
Not a special guest, just
not
an average guest.
Well, you are a very special guest to me, okay? All right.
Okay.
But we thought we are going to do a little bit more of some regular... podcast chat just about everything health and fitness. So we've got some frequently asked questions, and it sort of dawned on me that I actually haven't really dove into actually my stuff very much. It's always me asking the questions to everyone, which is good, but it would be good to get my story out there a little bit more about everything Body Majic, how I started in the gym, and really share my level of expertise the most I possibly can. Don't give me that sideways look.
Yeah. No, that's very good.
to everybody listening to the podcast. So anyway, but how's your week, Jono? Thanks so much for coming in and doing the episode and co-hosting with me.
All good. No, I've got so much free time on my hands. So
so much time.
Haven't done much this week. Just honestly, nothing really. Sorry,
Speak
mate.
into the microphone.
It's very
Come on, Yeah. Just weave yourself around it.
It's very quiet this week. Just doing some stuff for new job coming up, which is exciting.
When you start?
Monday. So that's good. Underground.
Underground,
is
it?
Yeah. So
where is it? Is it in Kalgoorlie?
Yeah, somewhere.
Is it actually?
Somewhere around there.
Get to see Jack.
Well, I think it's like a little bit like.
Right. It's not actually in Kalgoorlie.
Well, the closest thing is Cal, I think, but it's not.
You'll be hanging out at the exchange and stuff then.
Yeah, mini beers. Old mini beers. But no, that's been good.
Mini beers are good.
They are good, actually. Shout out exchange. But no, other than that, not much. Just been walking a lot, actually. It's been really good. My legs were tight. So
As in for fitness, you've been walking or?
Well, yeah, I guess so. My legs have been super tight. And I was like, maybe I need to get them moving more. So I've just been after the gym, I'll just go to the park and do a few laps. But it's been actually really good, really actually enjoying it.
So it's because of recovery rather than you going out and playing bloody Pokemon Go?
well, it started as recovery, but I thought, you know what?
I said I was going to be just 10 minutes late getting here. I was about 15 minutes late. I was like, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. He goes, yep, no worries. And I was sort of expecting you to be in the driveway. And then I come home. And I go, where is he? I've come in, set everything up. I'm going, yep, doing all the hard work, carrying all the gear in. And going, where is he? He's over at the park playing Pokemon. I don't even know that was a thing still, Pokemon
It's
Go.
still a thing. I was catching Lapras across the road, so it's all good. But no, well, it gives me kind of a...
Is that a disease or a Pokemon?
It's a... Well, bit of both. No, it's good. It kind of gives me a bit more incentive to go for a walk.
Something to do.
So it's like, just something to do while I'm walking. So it's been really good. Other than that, not much. What about you? Busy?
Well, I went to, it has been a very busy week. Actually, got lots of Body Majic stuff going on, and I was filming some good content and stuff this week, which is good. But I went down south with Beck. She goes down south like maybe like 2 or 3 times a year with like all of her music friends.
Yep.
And they go down, they do this like writing camp retreat session, yeah.
Yeah.
And pretty much they go down there, they, have a few drinks and they bring all their gear and all their instruments and all their music gear. They just get into it and they write songs, and it's, man, that I knew that they all do music to some degree. And I knew they were super talented, but oh my God, they're like, the stuff that they put together is actually ridiculously impressive. Yeah. And like, I play a bit of guitar, know a little bit of music, but I'm there. I'm completely out of my depth. Couldn't add anything to anything for any of the things that they do. Just there for support. And they do. I've never been on like a weekend like this with a group of people, but yeah, they're all very creative people and, come up with amazing songs and everything. They do like these like challenges, like songwriting challenges, so which makes sense. They're all going down there doing songs.
Of course.
And they go into teams and they like pick a genre out the hat, and then they've got an hour and a half to put together a song, and it's like really random categories. So this was I made Beck send me the one that they did. So let me get the audio up, but.
I've never heard this, by the way.
Yeah, you haven't heard this one. I've been holding this off because I think you're going to love this.
If this is a bad reaction,
no. You're actually going to love this. So this is their categories were Amy Shark Rage. That was the category, right? And they had an hour and a half to put this together. They also did, I haven't got the video clip, but they did a full video clip for this thing. It turned out that good. And I'm being serious. It's actually a bit of a banger. Ready? So this is Beck on the vocals.
You said banger, but...
Oh, no, this is, trust me.
Acoustic instruments?
No. There's no acoustic instruments. Listen, ready?
Not?
Should come to your headphones.
Okay.
Amy Shark Rage. Listen to this.
Does anyone in here got a lighter?
It actually bops.
Wanna smoke it up? I'm a lovesick mess.
So these are all different Amy Shark lyrics that have just been from different songs. It's a bop.
Get there.
Take you back to my address.
Wait for it.
Rock it into the crowd. It's your baby. We can
So Amy Shark. So do you know what like the rage category is?
Rage is in like the TV show Rage.
No, it's like electronic music. It's music that doesn't have any instruments. So none of that is
Just
instrumental.
sound.
It's all sounds put together.
Yeah, right.
And then wait for it.
watch me turn to a psycho, baby. It would be the worst day of your life.
Oh, just
yeah,
absolutely
that's
throwing
good.
it down. This bit.
Honey, I only wanna be with you.
Bring it home.
Baby steps, I'ma mess you up. I'm a liar, tell him always said hi.
Oh!
Yeah, that is good. That is
fucking,
good.
honestly, I think they did that in like an hour and a half. This is like the day that I went down, so I contributed none of that. But they did that in an hour and a half. And the other guys did. Can't remember what the category the other one was, but it was also hell good. That's all just from them doing stuff, all sounds on their computer. I don't know how they do
Amy
that.
Shark lyrics.
Yeah, and Beck can put
unreal.
on a good Amy Shark voice. So it was actually really impressive.
that
I
was good,
couldn't believe it. I was like,
I did like that.
and that's like a piss take what they did in an hour and a half. And they've all got songs that they're working on. So Beck's got a song that she's working on that is actually quality, like it's unreal. And they've all got their other little projects and stuff. But I was so impressed of how talented these guys are. I knew they were talented already, but like seeing them work and do it was actually hell.
That's pretty good. That is pretty
Actually,
impressive.
and when you see the music video, it's so much more impressive. Like it's so good. So anyway, that was.
So you and Beck are still together, obviously. Then,
Yeah.
after your little cheating scandal, that if you haven't seen, go and watch it. Viewer
the Macca's
discretion
video.
advised. Yeah,
Right. So yeah, that was the other thing we got up to. It was a big content week actually because Beck had all her music stuff that we're doing, and then had that video. So I don't know if anybody has. Probably most people have seen that if you've been following along and listening. It's get off. I sent it to you before I did. I said, "Is this funny?" Question mark. And you said, "Yes."
What did I say? I said, "Why are you
yes.
naked in the back seat?"
You said, "Yes, this is funny." That's what you said.
I'll get it up.
Anyway, that hasn't seen that video, so pretty much for like filming my videos lately, I did a video about sort of, been going through a couple of mental health things and whatever lately, and I've actually feeling quite flat when it comes to like filming I've been doing all my content, I've been liking all my content, but my favorite thing to usually do is all my funny videos and inject all that. As you know, when we do those, we just like have the best time. We're laughing and laughing and laughing. And I haven't done one of those in so long because I was kind of finding that when I was putting stuff up, I was getting like hell triggered by people having bad reactions to my videos, so much so that I just couldn't do it. I didn't do anything funny or any of my skit ones. I can't even remember like the last one I did, and I was sort of thinking about that, and I went, no, I've got to get back, not just doing the gym and tip ones, which I really like, and I think they've actually come a long way because I've been putting so much more attention into them. But I thought I'm going to do one of these funny ones, and I just woke up. That was on the public holiday, the Easter Monday. I thought, let's do this video.
That was good.
And I thought it was so. I
good.
laughed and laughed and laughed, and Beck was laughing so much the whole time we were doing that.
I feel like if you didn't find it funny, you don't have a sense of humour, or you're not even.
So anyone that didn't see it's pretty much me. Oh, what if cheating on your diet was real life, and Beck was playing the role of my diet, and it was us cuddly on the couch, and then I get a text from Macca's saying, "Oh, baby, come and see me," and then I run out the door and I'm pretending to cheat on her with a thing of chips, and then she finds me in a parking lot. The funny thing in the parking lot though, when we first got there, we're like, oh my God, like we can't do this at home because we don't even want to do it out the driveway. It was going, we're just laughing and cringing so much. And we went to this park that was like halfway to Macca's and Beck's place. And we went into this park and there was no cars there at all. So we started doing all the stuff in the back seat and like, throwing the chips spanking the chips and all this stuff. Anyway, and then we're doing stuff and we're hell into it and we're just laughing. And then halfway through, we kind of look up. There's a car that's pulled up that we didn't even notice. So we don't know what part of it that he saw, but it's probably me in the backseat spanking some chips.
So he's got a POV. Oh, Jesus
Oh, but fun, man.
Christ.
I still, and the behind the scenes stuff of it is actually so funny.
But what I think I said when I messaged you, you got chips, and I was like, Jared, I know you're pretty strict with your diet and you don't eat fast food, but I was like, get a Big Mac.
No,
like,
but chips are my Achilles heel. That is my, if I could only eat one food for the rest of my life ever, it would be hot chips.
What are them chips down in Freo? What was that joint we used to get chips
Munchies.
from? Munchies. They do very good chips.
They do very good. I think they closed down Munchies. I don't think they're open at all anymore.
What do you? Yeah, okay. What do you do for bait then?
Well, that's right. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. But anyway, that was my week.
Anyway, very good week.
It was a pretty good week. It was actually a pretty good week. So like I was saying to everyone before, we thought that we'd maybe kind of open up a bit more about how we both started into the gym, how I sort of started everything with Body Majic, and talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to sort of make some regular segments going forward for all this, where we would love everybody to send in their questions or your journeys or things that you'd maybe like some help with when it comes to anything health and fitness or diet or anything related. We're here to help, and we want to make this a really listener inclusive show. So we just thought we'd start with me. And
well, let me ask.
I can't wait. I'm a guest. I'm a guest.
Loves talking about himself.
I do. It's
anyway,
actually my favourite topic, so I can't wait for this.
We'll strip it right back to the start. Right back to the start when you were 14 or 15, I think it was. Like, why did you start at the gym, or what was the kind of driving motivation to start in the gym?
Yeah. So, well, always like all throughout, whilst I was a kid, my dad is super into fitness and loves riding his bike.
He's a very fit man.
He's a fit man. Yeah, he's always been into it. Always played sport, played basketball, played footy, all that sort of thing. But my whole time throughout school, I found it very hard fitting in at school.
Yeah,
and even though reflecting on it now, I was actually okay at junior sport, but in terms of confidence of me as a kid and being involved and being part of a group and a team and everything, I was really anxious about the whole thing because of all these experiences I was having at school. So I was always healthy and fit and active and doing all that sort of thing. And I always really liked doing it and enjoyed working out with Dad. But when I actually got into the gym properly, I was probably 14, 15. I think 15 when I actually got into the gym, but about 14 when I probably started working out. And was getting some tips from Dad, and he said, "Hey, you should just get really good at doing your body weight stuff." And I was like, "Okay, all right, no worries." And the reason why I wanted to start doing that as well was because I was having all these troubles at school, and I kind of wanted to find a bit of an outlet, and he helped me sort of find that as an outlet for me to better myself and feel more confident and all that sort of thing. And also with sport that I was playing at the time, I was just a little skinny kid. I wanted to put on a little bit of muscle. So thought, let's start doing some body weight stuff. We're at this house around in Canterbury now. I was walking over the road every single day. There's some chin up bars that are still there. They're terrible. They should rip them down and put some new ones in. But I would walk out there every day, and I'd be doing sets of chin ups, push ups, squats, calf raises, lunges, just all the body weight stuff. And it started off with I literally couldn't get a chin up. Couldn't do a chin up. Yeah. So I'd have to do the body rows like under the the balancing beam. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those ones. So pulling myself up like under the balancing beam. Yeah. Bits of play equipment over there. Dad would come out and do it with me sometimes. I'd be doing push-ups. Started off just doing regular ones, and then was watching some videos and stuff, and Dad helping me as well. I could do incline push-ups, and then there was decline push-ups, and there was diamond push-ups. But there's all sort of things that like I'd learnt from playing sport, because you do that at footy training sometimes when you're a junior and whatever. So started doing all these things, and it just became a thing that I had to go out every day and do. And I enjoyed it so much, because if anybody starts a fitness journey at any point, the most improvement that you get is at the start. So you're out there, and all of a sudden you go from not being able to do one chin up to all of a sudden pretty quickly you can do sort of 5 or something like that, string 5 together, and then you get stuck at 5 for a bit, and then you get to the next bit, or push up, same deal. So I was improving at such a great rate. I was finding so much enjoyment of going out there and doing that. I was feeling great. I was putting...
Kind of kept you going.
I actually when the songs pop up on the radio and that now, it takes me straight back to when I was, between 14 and 16. It was Eminem. I had just, there was 5 Eminem songs that were on the playlist. Yeah. There was some David Guetta. There was some Akon. There was probably 12 songs that literally, if I hear them now, that takes me straight back to working on over at the bars.
Yeah.
That I just chuck on in. Take me about half an hour, 40 minutes, would bang that out, come back inside, and then that was my workout. So, and that's when it first started and first ignited for me and started to feel a lot more strong and confident and just made that part of my habit and routine was literally walk over the road, do that, come on back in.
So you said that was when you were 14 you started doing that. At 15 you signed up at the gym. What was that like going from...
Well, I didn't actually...
sign up, I guess, but what was that going like to... working out with someone like your dad who you're familiar with or by yourself and on your own secluded to then taking first steps in a gym where it can be quite, I guess, daunting and quite intimidating. What was that kind of transition like?
Well, I definitely was doing some really light weights with Dad literally in the garage here. It wasn't set up as a gym, but we just put the cars out and we had some little weights here and we'd do that. So he kind of helped me with the starter move stuff like a shoulder press and a bicep curl and a chest press and all that sort of thing. So I was doing like those moves with him. So he sort of taught me them, but I didn't actually sign up at a gym to start on off with. I was sneaking into a gym. So, because you can't sign up. I think I must have been, I can't remember if I was 14 or 15, but I was just under the age that you're allowed. Mate, I think it's 16 that you can sign up. With the parent
guardian or something.
Yeah. But also I was going outside and doing that. I didn't have money to do it. Mum and Dad, I'm sure, would have paid. They did paying for a gym membership later on for it. But at the time, up until just recently. But I was going on over to Jets in Canning Vale. So I'd walk from here to Jets in Canning Vale. You know where like the Cambos and just past the Woolworths?
Oh,
so I walk there every day. Or ride my bike. So go up there every day, and I would wait at the door. So the receptionist would knock off at 5. So I'd get there just after 5. Yeah, just 5:05. Hang out, wait for somebody to open the door. Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, come on in. Just straight in there, and then we'd be using the gear. So I reckon I did that for probably 6 to 8 months before I didn't pay for it.
Would you get an invoice from Jets now?
Yeah. But I was just sneaking on in and doing that. And it was probably back before, like now if you do that in a gym, they've got all the automatic cameras.
They're on you straight
away. And that sort of thing. But I probably just got in before that. But then I started going to the gym then. And then I think very much I loved going because it was just something different to challenge yourself with. So again, I'd sort of perfected all the body weight stuff. And then there was the new challenge of getting in and using like the machines and using the cables and using bigger weights and all that sort of thing. But then I think picking up new moves and exercises and all that sort of thing, it's very much you see someone doing something and then you kind of emulate and copy that a bit.
Yeah.
So I was in there, I was watching all the big fucking blokes. I remember back then wanting to be the size of a bodybuilder. That's sort of in my head like
Arnie.
Yeah, that was honestly, that's like in my head what I thought, that's what I want to get to. Like, how good would bodybuilding be?
Yeah.
I want to be like this guy, this huge, big fucking roided up, guy in the gym. Well, Joel, that's right. This was going to be my next thing. So I'd be going in there and sort of trying to do what they did. And then as well as that, so now my housemate, Joel, and very good friend, Joel, that I live with. So he was at the time, he was 5 years older or something. And he was into bodybuilding. He's been to the gym for a long time. So he then gave me my first lot of tips to how to do the gym stuff. So it was like real basic things like I was talking about. I was asking him about protein, how much food do you eat, and all this. And I was really keen to learn from him. And he just gave me like some little tips and little bits of advice. And I went and trained with him a couple of times, which was very nice of him to take, under 16s,
the wing.
16-year-old me to the gym, which I'm sure was...
Changing the weights from down here to back up here.
That's right. So doing all that stuff. So, which is funny because a full circle thing with that a little bit, that, Joel was showing me how to do all the stuff in the gym when I first started. And he was very much someone I looked up to when I first started with all of that now he's actually done some work for me as a Body Majic online coach, and also I helped him finish his certificate 3 in fitness. So, so it's kind of like, this is only just recently. So it's kind of this funny full circle moment.
Yeah, that's cool.
With
That's really cool.
That's pretty cool. But that's how I first got into that. And then same thing with doing all the body weight stuff. It was something that I enjoyed doing so much because I saw such progress happening.
Yeah.
And it just happened so rapidly, and you'd improve how much weight you could lift, and I was putting on so much size, and my confidence was getting more and more and more. But there probably wasn't the real big spike of improvement. Like I got these little bits, and I could notice it. But in between, so I would have been going to the gym for a year and a half, maybe.
Summer and winter uniform.
Yeah.
That's
You've
where
heard
it
this
is.
story. Yeah. So this is probably one.
But it is good because you could just. I can imagine. Obviously, went to a Catholic school as well, so I know what the uniform is. Tell us that.
Yeah.
It is good.
I was going to the gym for about a year and a half. So I was working out outside here for probably 6 months to a year, and then went to the gyms. I've been training and doing stuff regularly for 2 years, just over, and was noticing the difference myself and how much stronger I was getting, all that sort of thing. But I really got that big hit of testosterone and puberty quite late. It wasn't until I was 16 and it all just happened. So in between the year 11 and 12 school holiday. So again, this whole time during school, I was getting a fucking rough time at school. Like I was getting bullied. I was getting teased about my gynecomastia that I had. Like, the swimming kind of was, didn't want to have my shirt off. Would never be picked for, again, I thought I was, upon reflection, I was actually not bad at sport when I was junior, but I'd be the last one to be getting picked purely from, these guys just being dicks to me kind of thing. Yeah. So all my confidence so down low. And I was going to the gym and working these frustrations out from a hard day at school and getting called this and getting called that, and it was just my place to go feel. I remember crying on the way to the gym from stuff that happened during the day, and then I get into the gym and I'd be going, literally in my head I'd be going,
it's almost pre-workout.
Fuck these guys. I'm going, fuck these guys, fuck you. And I get in there, and once I walked out, all that sort of anger and rage almost that I felt, that was put to the side, and that was done for me. So I was going in there doing all that, and then in between the summer of year 11 and year 12, those holidays, so like you get 8 weeks or 10 weeks off or whatever it is. If you're a Catholic school, it's a bit longer. I was at the gym every day. Right? Yeah. Push-ups. I was pumping it. The protein was in. Absolutely grinding out, right? And all of a sudden, bang.
There it is.
Testosterone puberty hit just at the right time. And I was already doing all the things beforehand that when I got the big rush of test running through the body, bang, I put on probably 8 kilos from that end of year 11 to year 12. And then first day of school, I was fucking juicy, right? I was massive.
Shirts this tight.
Yep. So, and I think we were wearing some of the summer uniform towards the end of that one, but I don't know. Again, I just didn't quite have that big, it wasn't that noticeable. And I came back first day, year 12, fucking huge. Like, I could not fit into my khaki green fucking shirt. Like, my arms were popping out. The chest button was out like this.
The one chest hair sticking through.
Yeah. And honestly, and I probably didn't know. I didn't put it on. I went, this is a bit tight when I first put it on when I was at home.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I got to school, because you see yourself every day as well, like in the mirror and whatever, and you don't really take that much notice. But I got to school first day, and it was like going around the school. Have you seen Jared? Like, have you seen?
What's he been doing?
Yeah, like he's fucking huge. And it probably didn't come back around to me until about recess of that day. But it was going nuts, and the girls were more like, oh wow, like,
Jared's
looking better. The teachers were going, Jesus, Jared's put on some. Like it was a thing. It was a thing. It was one of the best days of my life, honestly, because it was just it really went from school being like I said, this place that I just really felt like the whole time did not fit in, was having all these issues all throughout my school, from primary school all the way through to high school, and I was so motivated by all the shit stuff that was happening. It became part of my regular habits, routine, and then all of a sudden, when everything caught up and the results started to happen, it was a fucking good day.
I can imagine.
It was so good,
And I'll just butt in with another full circle moment. You're saying the guys picked on you at school and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you've started, and we'll come back to how you got into the Body Majic thing, but then the guys that picked on you at school have then hit you up and gone,
most definitely.
I need some help in the gym. And
from that day that I came there, no one fucked with me from that day on. I was the biggest kid in school. I was literally the biggest fucking kid in school. You wouldn't fuck with me. I know, but that is just, I'm not like walking around like I'm the big intimidating, but it was the size difference.
Instead of kicking the footy at lunch, Jared was like, let's go bench press.
I did. I'm being fucking dead set.
I can bench press more than anyone here.
I actually did. We go in, I could use the fucking gym, and then I was still working out at school, I was doing all that. So so it was just funny that just like, it reinforced to me all the good hard work that I've been doing, and it pays off.
And for that, it was paying off in that way for you.
And from that day, nobody messed with me again at school, which was fucking awesome, right?
That's the way to go. Yeah.
And then from that, like you said, when I started doing, it was probably actually even before Body Majic. Oh no, it would have been Body Majic stuff. Some of the guys that were real fuckwits who at school, have then come and bought programs, which I was sitting there going, what the fuck? Like,
just down in the bottom corner. That's another tick. You look up to me now.
It was quite like quite a satisfying full circle little moment for all that, which was pretty good. So
just like you said before, Body Majic, I guess. When did you kind of go, all right, this is something that I am actually genuinely passionate about?
Yeah.
And obviously all the success that you had with yourself. When did you kind of go, all right, let's try and make something of this and, build a career from it, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. So continue working out all the way through. I guess the first kind of I was always coaching. So like even in high school, I coached like the junior high school teams, or, I coached Elisa's basketball, team outside of school. So I always thought I was like quite a good, coach and communicator and motivator and that sort of thing. I thought I was fucking Coach Carter, you know what I mean? Like, dude, you're not listening to fucking suicide.
Well, I think communicating, that is probably one of your big strengths, because you've never been...
I think I've always been good with words.
Come across as, and this is when I first met you, you came across very confident, which is obviously... years prior you were at the gym.
That's right. Yeah. So I think, question was when did I do? So I was always doing it all the way through. And I was always helping out people. So we'll kind of come to your stuff and how we whatever. But like, that's kind of how, I guess, you almost really got started into the gym was us training together. So it was always like with, friends of mine or people that asked for advice, was always happy to, because it was just such a passion. I loved it so much. And I loved sharing some experience and expertise and feeling helpful to people. That was oh, great, I can help you with that.
Yeah,
so definitely got a lot of satisfaction out of doing that. So then we'd start training, together and all that sort of thing. So that was almost like, you're probably one of my first clients, if you think of it.
Literally,
like just in training. And then I was 18, we were playing footy together, and I dislocated my shoulder playing basketball, and I was working at aquarium shops with yourself and another one as well at the time. And then I couldn't work for a bit because I had this operation. So I was sitting absolutely fucking miserable at home, zonked out on endo, just drooling out there.
I think I have the photo. We should clip it to this. It's a good photo.
Yeah, it was just no good. And then... I was just kind of thinking, I was sitting around doing absolutely nothing. It was going to take, 12 months properly to get this rehab all sorted for my shoulder to get back into sport and properly training and all that and work and everything. So I kind of thought, is there a course that I could do? And Mum was like, you should do PT. And I was going, no. I was, for so long, I was going, no, I'm not doing PT. Everybody's a fucking PT. Nobody makes any money doing PT. I was saying all these things. I was putting all these barriers. I remember it so often. It was like a 6-month thing and it was even before the shoulder. It was sort of talks about it, but I was putting it off going, no. And then I just went, fuck it. I'm sitting here doing nothing. I may as well go out and try to do this course. And what's the worst that happens at the end of it? I'm like most of the other PTs that do it for a bit and you never fucking use it again, and I'll do something else. So went and did my PT course at TAFE and just fucking loved it. And it was just like one of these things that I went in first day and I just went,
this is what I'm going to do.
This is it. But I also had, at the time, I ended up going out with my girlfriend for a long time, met her at TAFE, and then I also had a really good friend that one of my close friends for a long period of time there. We met at TAFE. So I had, and all the other people in the TAFE class, we were really tight with the TAFE class. So it was so enjoyable going in and doing the actual course. That it just made me love it so much more. So, and then from that, I was doing, finished TAFE and was like, yep, I'm going to start this PT stuff. And I started a business called GM Personal Training. That was the first one.
That was actually...
That was first personal training.
Just cut in there, because the first business venture you ever had was a raging success. So just touch on that real quick. In essence, it was a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea. And also, you have to go through some shit to really land on something that works for you, right?
Yeah,
you can't just walk out and create a Body Majic straight up. You know what I mean? You got to work on that.
Well, tell us the first idea. How did you get there? What happened? Well, tell us about the scam. Tell us about that one.
All right. Well, this is my first lesson in business that I ever had, right? First business I ever wanted to start was a supplement company called Premium Performance Supplements, PPS.
I get PTSD just thinking about it.
PPS was
Where is my protein?
And it was a guy with his arms up like this. There's the
got
logo.
It somewhere,
yeah, we'll find that somewhere. So I would have been 16. Just again getting into the gym and everybody at school was asking me, what proteins? Everyone assumes it's supplements that you're taking. Which I was my first supplement that I actually ever took. Do you know what it was? It wasn't protein because again I couldn't afford it. Mum and Dad weren't going to buy it for me. It was skim milk powder. So I read.
Yeah,
honestly,
I think I remember you telling me about this.
The thought of doing it now, I can still taste it. It's burnt into my memory and taste buds. It's so bad. But pretty much what I did was you get skim milk powder, like they sell it in a box at Coles and Woolworths. It's still like $8. It's so cheap.
Ugh.
For like a kilo, and pretty much you get this powder and you mix it in and it becomes skim milk, but it's like this powdery fuck taste of skim milk. Now, skim milk is essentially pretty much got all the same stuff as what whey protein has got in it. You just need to concentrate it way more because like a glass of milk, I'd be wrong in guessing it, but it's got 8 grams of protein per glass. So obviously if you put 3 times the amount of powder in, which doesn't really have that many calories or fat or anything, and you mix it in and you just make this thing hell concentrated and gluggy, you'll get your 30 grams of protein. So that's what I started off doing. And I'd take it to school and I'd put it in a water bottle, had a funnel. I didn't have a shaker. I'd put it in the water bottle, shaking it up, and I'd be having this stuff. It was like this, I can still actually taste it thinking about it, but it's like this salty glug that it just, it was actually awful.
We're still talking about skim milk here.
We are talking about skim milk. Okay, it was actually disgusting, right? So that's what I was doing for the protein to start off with. I actually can't believe I did that.
That's a hot tip for anyone that can't afford
And I was
protein.
drinking. I used to drink raw eggs. I did that for a bit. Yeah, I would do the raw eggs. I'd be, would watch Rocky when I was 15. I'm this will do. Yeah.
Fantastic franchise of movies.
So good. And then I thought, okay, people are asking about supplements. So I thought I'll look into getting some supplements and selling some supplements, starting this business. And I found this supplier of Alibaba. Never a good idea to start. Nobody go buy anything off fucking Alibaba. And went, great. Oh my gosh, I've got this protein, this Optimum Nutrition brand that I can buy from them. It's so much cheaper than anyone here in Australia. How is this possible? But to be fair, like as a 16-year-old, looking back at it, I'm impressed about my hustle throughout this whole thing.
And you put your life savings up until you were 16 into it.
So I, I was hustling, did got the business name, got the website.
Got the Facebook page. The 16 likers.
I did everything, right? I did all of it. And then I went and ordered these supplements and they went, oh yeah, sorry, we only do, what's it called? Western Union transfers. So it's like cash transfer. And I was like, oh, you get a discount, a heavy discount if you do that thing or something like that. And I was like,
you ripper.
Okay, yeah. I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And I had cash because I was doing work around the house and whatever. It's my life savings. It was $2,000 this order as a 16-year-old, right? That's all I had was $2,000.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I go to Dad, we have to go do this thing because you can't do it unless you're 18. And Dad's going, oh, you sure? And I was going, no, it's like legit. Like I've done all these emails.
And you're very strong-headed when
It wasn't convincing me anything otherwise, right? It was not convincing me anything otherwise. We go down to Western Union. We transfer this $2,000 to this fucking thing. Protein never came.
Still to this day.
It ended up being, because when we looked into it and there was no response after that, and then this and that, and there was nothing from it, that we looked up the name of the person that was emailing from this company. This company was a legit company, but it was like closed down 10 years ago. And the name of the person was actually someone that was deceased 15 years ago in the UK. Ended up being these Russian scammers.
Putin.
Yeah, actual fucking Putin. No wonder there's some jacked Russians out there. Absolutely jacked with $2,000 my protein. So that was my first failed business venture. However, a nice little ending to that story was we put not a complaint. I think we put a police report in to say, oh, it's fraud or whatever. And then we got contacted by this lawyer saying, hey, we've just seen your police report against, you did this thing with Western Union, a scam. There's actually been a lot of that's been going on. Would you like to enter in this class action suit that we're, suing Western Union for? And I was like, okay, whatever. Is it going to cost anything? No, it won't cost anything. Just if we win, we take 20% of, the amount. Sure, whatever. Heard nothing of that. Like, it must have been 3 years. Longer. It must have been 4.
It was a long time.
So long. Heard nothing from it. Then my dad one day gets a call from this lawyer. Yep, we got it back. We go, what?
I actually remember you. I think I might have came over because it was a check, wasn't it, or something like that? It was a check.
Yeah, they sent this check of I think it was we ended up getting like $2,500 or something because it was in US dollars, so it converted a bit better.
I laugh.
Yeah, and then it was fucking phenomenal.
Profited first business, I guess.
Oh, it was a long.
It was a long time.
I couldn't believe that. So that was my first experience of business. It's getting shafted by
me literally every day. Where is my protein? Every year that Jared started his Facebook page, I was like, man, where is my protein?
You guys were not nice to me. That actually caused me so much embarrassment and trauma from that.
Man, what were you, 16? I was 18, 19. I was out $85. Like,
you never paid me for anything.
I transferred you. I never got it back. I did get it back.
The first thing I did with that check was come around and drop a big fucking tub of protein to you and my cousin Andrew.
Even though I bought 2, but it's fine.
Fuck off. You got your protein. But that was my first business venture. Right. And then there were some other ones that, didn't quite, do exactly what I wanted them to do. There was GM personal training. That was my first one. Started doing some stuff with that. And then there was Average G's, another great venture.
And we're not better than you. And we know
pretty
it.
much just a rip-off of Dodgeball.
Yeah. It was not good.
From that, I started training my cousin's boyfriend at the time, Luke, who runs this page called Perth is Okay. It's like pretty big Instagram.
Yeah. All over it.
Here in Perth. And I was so down and out about all this PT bullshit because the first fucking 2 years of any business, but particularly PT stuff, hence why people don't hang around in it very long. It's so fucking hard. So you can't get clients. The gyms are literally set up to make money off the PT actually as like a client essentially rather than actually helping you do it. So, started at Anytime Fitness and they're taking 40% of what you fucking earned. That was the first job.
Yeah.
Trash. And then I was doing, the GM personal training stuff sort of privately. I'd be rocking up at sessions. I would drive all over the place. I'd drive all the way to Langley Park was a regular group that I had for 5 a.m. from here. Drive there for 5 a.m.
Like that's so early.
Half the time for one session to earn fucking $50 for doing that, for driving there, getting up that time, doing that whole thing. Would get on up there, go to the park. And half the time, they'd forget or they wouldn't show up. And I wasn't getting prepaid. So I didn't get paid. So I do that and I would not get paid for any of those sessions as fuck. So it happens so many times. I did the whole, early morning starts and the clients not showing up and doing all this stuff for all this work just for fucking free, just to try to get clients, and it just did not work. And I was just one bad day from completely giving it in. I thought I was going to be a cop. That's actually what I thought I was going to do after. I thought I'm going to join the police.
Yeah.
I think fuck, I can do that now. But I thought, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. And I thought, that's definitely what I'll do. But then my cousin's boyfriend at the time, Luke, who was running Perth is Okay, which is an Instagram page here in Perth, he said, mate, he was about to propose to her. He said, hey, I want to get shredded as we're going to Europe for it, for the proposal. Can we do like 30 days in a row of us training? Let's just hit it hard. Like come down to me and Freya will train. Tell me what I don't care what it's going to cost. You tell me.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, sounds good, I guess. So you want to train at 6 a.m. at Freo. the condition was I had to go pick him up.
Yeah.
And to get him out of bed, physically get him out of bed
Yeah.
to train him, but it was $1,000 cash for 30 days. And I went, fucking amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
So went up, did that every morning, drove to Freo, 26 sets of traffic lights between here and Fremantle every single morning. Went to go pick him up, trained every day. And every day he was giving me, I think that, you know, I'd asked him stuff before about how to, because he's a great business guy, but I think he didn't maybe realize that I was actually pretty good at personal training and I knew what I was sort of doing with it. When we were working together, he was like, fuck. I think he sort of saw that potential that it could be something really good for me. And he was just giving me these little tips about how to do social. He was like, man, well, why don't you start doing some social media stuff? And I was like, nah, I hate it. I didn't even have an Instagram account. I think I had 100 followers on it. I'd posted one photo.
Yeah.
You should start doing more.
What photo was it?
I can't actually remember, but it was like, yep, you got to start doing a little bit more stuff with your socials and putting some videos up and just being regular with it. And I was like, well, what do I do? He goes, oh, well, do this workout. I'll film you do this and let's chuck it up. All right, did that. He goes, oh, I've got a photo guy. He'll come down and do some photos with you for half an hour and that'll give you a couple of weeks worth of stuff and just put some fucking motivational thing on.
Yeah.
All right. So I did that. We're just starting to do all these little things and just these little habits and building it up. And just every day I was just getting a post off. That's all I was having to do. Just one post per day. Every day. Didn't matter what the fuck it was. Like it could have been just a photo of me with almost no caption. Just fucking put it up. Just keep it going. And then eventually, once I finished this 30 days with Luke and I posted every day for 30 days and then I posted his results.
Yeah.
That's when that's probably the only time in my business that that I've noticed such a massive jump from something. It went from nothing and I was literally about to quit to bang, just skyrocketed. And I posted these before and after, which were fucking fantastic. Still to this day, one of the best transformations I've ever done. And then it just turned into this thing where people were going, they didn't give a fuck. It was $1,000 cash. Yep, $1,000. Yep. Come in, do it for 30 days.
I was get booked. That result, bang.
I was booked. What I want. I was fully booked up. And then that's when, Body Majic really took off and he helped me come up with the name with Body Majic and then, helped me with lots of other stuff with it. But that's really how it all kind of started. And I think that, I guess things that I've learned and people that ask me these sort of things about starting Body Majic or new PTs or just business stuff in general, or whatever their passion, project or whatever people are, is that there's so many, like, you got to go through so much trash before it actually...
Yeah, before you find something that works.
Yeah, and like, I'm finding that again now, for a long period of time there, I was getting really good growth and whatever the things I was doing with Body Majic, whether it's my online stuff or content or whatever it might be, I was always getting a good result up until probably recently where the results they're still being, as in the... new projects and things that I've done, they've kind of like plateaued and maybe not sort of grown the way that I thought it was going to grow. But now I've had to go through the biggest patch since the start of just not a lot to now there's stuff that starts to happen again. So it's just like, it's really just the thing of just being, honestly, it sounds so shit and it's nothing sexy about it, but you just got to be consistent with it. And I just started doing it from literally just posting something per day. And I just went, you know what, I'm going to give this one last fucking roll of the dice and see if it happens. See if it happens for me. And it's ended up.
Lucky you did.
It's actually just rolled over. It was 5 years, 2 days ago.
Actually, I remember I put up a post on Facebook saying happy birthday to actually the Body Majic thing. But that's
I actually didn't do
I
actually forgot to do it. I'm going to have to do a post about it later on this week about that. But it's just fucking flown past and it's just amazing where I'm so thankful that obviously all those things happen because otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. Yeah. And there's definitely an element of luck with it as well. I'm by no means, if Luke didn't message me, I wouldn't have fucking...
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah,
would have been doing it. And if I did, but it's also just just again creating those habits and being consistent and just doing those things every day. That just like getting into the gym when I first started, it wasn't about seeing a result day on day. It was just about doing the thing and enjoying doing the thing and enjoying seeing the progress of doing the thing. So that's kind of how it all started. But what about you? How did your stuff start? I feel like I've got a big hand in
that's actually definitely how it started. I think I was like, I guess always like thought about it, but just kind of didn't. And it was kind of, I guess it was, the money thing as well. When you're 15, 16, if you don't have a job, then what are you doing? Or you can't sign up or whatever it was. But we were working at the pet store and that's all you would talk about. is the gym. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want to get into it. And you were kind of like, oh, why don't you just get into it? And I was like, oh, but this. And you're like, no, like, come with me, like, let's go. And it was always like halfway through the shift, you'd duck to the sup store, get a protein cookie.
Yep.
And I'm going, oh, I'll just follow you and we'll just do that. And I guess that's kind of when it first started. It kind of fell off a bit later, but definitely that was the initial kind of like kick. And I feel like, yeah, that was kind of what I needed to kind of just bite the bullet and sign up. And I think it was Anytime.
Yeah, we trained at Anytime was the first. Well, I was already training then. I was like, oh, come and just join up at Anytime. And then we'd go between. That was probably the funnest period that I have trained at a gym.
Yeah.
Was when we were training at the Anytimes, because we'd go between. It was a mix. It was Canning Vale, or it was Armidale,
or it was, we went to Jandakot.
Was it? Yep.
Jandakot?
Yeah, Jandakot. Like we would just choose different.
Yeah.
Obviously, too much time and not enough.
Literally.
Some of that places that we had time just to go over.
But that was kind of the.
That was my favorite time of gymming, because it was, it was just so much fun having someone with me, because then that was the first time I had someone actually training with me.
Yeah.
And then we just bounce off each other.
And it kind of kept me. It kind of kept me accountable at the time too, because it was always like. It wasn't a morning thing, the gym. It was an afternoon, and half the time I was going, nah, can't be fucked. And you're like, nah, let's go. And it'd be like, oh, okay, yep, righto, whatever. But then it just became less and less regular that I would want to go. I was like, nah, can't be fucked. And then once you kind of break that habit, it kind of, it's really hard to get back into. But I think it started again. Pick back up, obviously all of your stuff's going, and you were saying, oh, come on, get back into the gym. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe, blah, blah, blah. But there's certain moments that you can remember, like it would be you at school being picked on and all that sort of stuff. And I was always, whether it was family or friends, was like, gee, fuck, Jono, like, you're so skinny, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, when are you going to put on some weight? And, like, as a kid, you're like, oh, well, at least I'm not, like, severely overweight. Like, yeah, like, they were like, oh, your metabolism, that'll catch up with it. You're going to be, you'll put on weight. And I was always like, oh, well, I'm skinny. Like, and it kind of didn't bother me for a while there. Like, it just didn't. You know, when you're in high school, you're skinny and you've kind of got the fake abs and it's like, whatever. But there was two kind of moments where I can specifically pinpoint it to. And one was... something the ex-girlfriend said to me, or she didn't say it to me, but she said it to someone else about me, and I was kind of like, yeah, that kind of hurt a bit.
What was it?
Oh, it was just I don't want to make it too like, that's but it was just a comment of, she had seen a story of me out at, I think it was a festival of some sort, but she's just replied like, oh yeah, like ugly, skinny, like motherfucker, like. And it was just like, your looks, can't do anything about it. Like, I'll take that 3 out of 10 all day. But the skinny thing, and I was like, and with her for quite a bit, and I was like, if you've always felt that about me, like that makes me feel pretty shit. So I was
Sounds like she was doing that just to be hurtful too.
Yeah, well, but you know what? She wasn't wrong.
But you were feeling like there was some, you were identifying some truth that you thought was in your head of whatever.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then there was, anyway, I went on a footy...
Not truth, an insecurity about yourself.
Yeah, an insecurity, 100%. And that's kind of been like, a massive driving force, I guess. And I went to Bali, I think it was later that year, and two of the boys from Kenwick, now my very good mates now, were over there as well, and we were hanging out, and we did the thing, got drunk, went and got tattoos, and there's just this one video, and I know my mate Steve he'll laugh about this, but he's taken a video and we're sitting in the tattoo studio and we're just having a drink, but he turns the camera to me, and honestly, I look at it now and I was about as thin as this pole, like, and it really makes me feel like, shit, I used to look like that. And then that was kind of the like, I look like that, like I don't like that. That's it. It was at the start, it was purely to not look like that anymore. It wasn't about, I don't know, being healthy and fit. It was just like, I'm going to eat everything I can eat, and I'm going to put on weight, and I'm not going to look like that anymore.
Well, I think that just on that for both of us, and I think that for people that actually go to the gym or start something or start changing something about their lifestyle or achieve goals, often the goal isn't like what I hate when a new clients, when they sign up, they go, I want to lose 5 kilos, I want to lose 10 kilos, whatever. Yeah, but why? Like you go, okay, why is that? Like I love that you want to do that, and cool, it is a good goal. But what's the actual thing that is going to motivate you fucking deep to get you to do it?
Well, that was essentially it. Was I looked at this photo and I went, I don't want to look like that. I'm not confident in myself. Like it'd be fine. Like, you know, and I guess when you're younger, you don't care. Like year 12 and year 11 and 12, like me and my mates were always at the beach, no drama, shirts off, whatever, who cares? But then as I started getting a bit older and kind of, you know, and I guess like you said with the testosterone and puberty thing, when you start seeing guys your age or younger that are just built like these Greek gods kind of thing, and you're like, you know, and the insecurities come back and you're like, I don't want to go to the beach because I don't want to take my shirt off. And that was still like a big thing. I was like, no, you know what, like I'm going to do this. And it was just my mate that I went to Bali with, bought a house around the corner from me, and he was like, look, I go to this gym and I go at 5 o'clock every morning, more than welcome to come. And I just bit the bullet and I went, no, you know what, like there was always talk about me getting back into it, but I feel like, and I've said this to you plenty of times, and I say it to everyone that kind of does ask, you know, how do you get up so early and how do you go to the gym? Like I want to go, but I just can't be fucked. And it's just the same, it's two questions that I ask as well. It's like, do you really want to lose weight or do you really want to go to the gym? And they'll be like, yep, no worries. And then I go, well, do you actually? Because there's always like an element of dishonesty, I think, with people as well, when they're like, yeah, like I would love to go to the gym and like eventually I want to lose 20 kilos. And it's like, okay, but do you actually? Because you can say it as many times as you want, but until you actually decide that that's what you want to do or you're going to do, you're not going to do it. So it was more about holding myself accountable and honestly, being honest with myself. I was like, no, my alarm goes off at 4:30 and I want to throw the phone through the wall. And I go, nah. But then it's kind of, and it is, again, the insecurities will kind of get me up and go. And they'll be like, nah, well, you look like a flamingo. And that's what I hear in my head. I'm like a flamingo, like ibis mix. You know what I mean? So I'm like, nah, I'm going to get up and go. And I guess at the start it was motivated by like, nah, you know what? Like, you like, again, proving people wrong, but it's not about that anymore. It's I genuinely enjoy it and kind of.
Well, I think that you touched on two great things there. So I think that the reason why has to be really defined.
Yeah.
And I think that people that have a proper why, so it's not just I want to lose weight. It's I want to lose weight because I don't want to fucking die and not see my grandkids that have just been born.
Yeah, no, that's right, yeah.
I want to lose 10 kilos because when I pick my kid up, I'm fucking out of breath.
Well, we touched on
whatever,
that before.
You know?
It's like my old man, when he, because you changed his whole thing, but when he first kind of, we're out the back and we've had like 9 beers on a Wednesday, just because that's just, you know, home from work, have a beer, whatever. And we got to talking and I was like, he's like, yeah, I need to do something. Like, I'm just tired of fucking, I'll tie my shoes up, get fucking exhausted or like whatever, pardon the language. And I said, well, do you want to lose weight or like not? Like you're saying you're unfit, you don't want to feel like that. And he goes, yeah, I do. I said, well, if you do, like, let's do it. And then he was like, yeah, no, like you're right. And I think you had, no, Body Majic was around for a while actually, but you actually
started doing a bit of work with him and
took the incentive and went, look, here's a Fitbit. I bought this for you. Go do your steps, and you gave him a plan and. 18 kilos later and he's laughing, you know what I mean? So I feel like you said, if it's the reason
the reason has to be there, and then also the second part to that is the reason, and then it has to be routine and habit. So So for me and you now, we had a really good reason why we wanted to start.
Yeah.
And we put some steps in to start that because we were so motivated by that.
Yeah.
But then it continues on because it's part of a habit and routine now.
Yeah.
And if either of us don't go to the gym or don't do the things, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like I actually feel terrible. I don't feel like myself.
And even if it's not like the gym, like I was always, if I don't go to the gym,
it's just got to be automatic.
I feel really guilty almost, but obviously, and it's taken me a very long time to then go, well, if I don't go to the gym, there's days you're not going to feel like it, let's be honest.
Yeah,
and that's fine.
That's what I mean, yeah.
But it's like, for me now, it's like, oh, I'll just go for a walk. Or like, you know, it's just moving, like just doing something that, you know, if it's not smashing yourself or your legs or your chest or whatever it is, it's like, oh, I'm moving still. So I still feel like I'm getting some benefit from being active, you know what I mean? Like it's, yeah, if it's not.
And it's just part of the habit and routine. And that goes for everything, where it's like where you cook your food, you being organised with your food, the habit of going to the gym.
Which
even not going to the gym is a habit that you've got, but you just have to build these things over time. You've got to start with a strong why, and then you just got to start not focusing on what are the right exercises for me to do, what is the right plan, what is the right food, what is the right this. You should be focusing on just getting the habit of whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest of it actually doesn't really matter that much.
And it goes back to the same, like, oh, I can start, like, I don't want to sign up to a gym or like blah, 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 but you don't even have to. There's so many other avenues of exercise that you can actually do that, like you said, you're a big advocate for. Find something that you love and just nail that first. Like you said, touching back to when you were very young as well, it's like the body weight stuff. Oh no, I need to nail that.
Yeah.
And you enjoyed that, so you kept going with that, and then it was like, okay, I've perfected that. Now let's try the gym stuff and the machines, and then it's, you know, you started enjoying that. So it's very, because, and I get it. A lot of people don't like working out, and that's fine. You don't like going to the gym, but what do you enjoy? Do you like walking along the beach, or like everyone? That's cliche. Everyone likes doing that, or I like riding a bike. It's like, okay, just implement that, and kind of build a habit on that. But yeah, it was. I think I'll put my hand up and say, like, my food is just atrocious. I haven't nailed that habit yet. It's taken me a long time, but I am definitely trying to make that a habit. And it takes
a long time for these stuff to actually become a habit and to be set in place in with it as well, which I think is probably the thing why people stop most of, whether it's dieting or exercising or whatever it is with wellness, is that they think it should just happen when you try once, but it takes so long for a habit to form, and your brain has already got all these other habits that you've built up that you're trying to literally stop that automatic. Because what a habit is it's actually just a movement, or you doing something without having to consciously think about it as much.
So, of course,
So that for a lot of people who, you know, maybe aren't working out, is not going to the gym, is sitting on the couch and watching a Netflix show before you go to bed, or you get home. That's what you do. When you're hungry at 9 o'clock at night, you go into the pantry and you eat this because it makes you feel good. And that's because that's purely just a habit, and it goes around and around and around and around, and your brain is hardwired for that. So to try to change that, it takes a lot, and it can't just be done on willpower. It just takes repetitions of doing the thing over and over and over. And throughout that time, I've not got a lot of that, you know, as in throughout my journey, there's been times where I haven't been able to train. There's times like what you're saying with your nutrition, that you're trying your best with it and things maybe regress or don't progress or stay a little bit stagnant. But to make it a habit, you got to keep doing it, keep doing the reps. And if there's a blimp or a little, you know, thing a little rock in the road that you didn't plan that was going to be there, you just got to keep going through. And you just got to
trust the process about it.
Just trust the process. You got to get back on and just bloody keep it going. It's like, get that finger up. He's got a great.
There's a couple of nice tattoos there, but
Jono's fingers, exactly right. He's got an even better one on the other index finger.
That one
at Body Majic.
I think that's all it is.
Thank you. We said at the beginning, we're trying to get all the listeners a little bit more involved, because we have been loving all the feedback and everybody rating and sharing around the podcast, and some great messages from all sorts of people from the episodes
all
thus
over,
far. But we want to get you guys involved a little
more
bit.
More inclusive, build a bit of a community,
Absolutely. We want to keep building it. And I feel like I've got some knowledge that I can share with you guys. And so we thought we put a little question box out on Instagram. Keep looking out for it over the next weeks. Or if you just got questions, send them in. But Jono, go for it. Hit me with a couple of questions.
Got a couple of questions we got sent in here.
Tell me.
Can you still build muscle during footy season? I've always been told that you can't, and that's from Declan.
Declan, cool. Thanks, Declan. Good question. Well, so I think that when you're playing, definitely when you're a professional athlete, say the AFL guys, they will not build muscle during the year. If anything, they actually reduce their muscle mass during the year, and all they're trying to do is just maintain the best that they can from their preseason stuff. Reason for that is because during the season, you're obviously training a couple of times a week, like, football training, and then you've also got your game on the weekend, and your goal, your athletic goal is just to make sure that your body is fit and ready to perform on the Saturday or your game day, right?
Yes.
And your trainings to get the most out of that. So your goal isn't necessarily to be putting on muscle during the year, it's to perform. So that's why a preseason is so important, because the preseason is the time that you can work on the stuff like body composition, like adding size and muscle, increasing your strength, increasing your power, and changing your body composition and, how much fat and all that sort of stuff that you've got on you and muscle mass that you've got on you. So then you can try to maintain it all throughout the season as you play and still perform well on the actual game day. So that's what it would be for an elite athlete. However, if you're playing like local football, you're not an elite athlete, AFL player that needs the every 1% of everything. So absolutely, if you're like at an amateur's level, you definitely can be putting on some muscle throughout the year. And how you do that is just by doing some weights training. You just want to be smart about when you actually train what muscle group. So for example, don't go do a big leg session a day or 2 days before a game. Maybe do that stuff earlier in the week so you've got a little bit more time to recover. Obviously, your volume that you're able to train is not going to be nearly as much because you have got your games and your regular training sessions. So the improvement that you might get versus the off-season and the pre-season is not going to be the same. You're going to get more gains then because you're not running as much and your activity level isn't much and all that sort of thing. But no, it's not impossible. But that's how I would structure it. Let's really try to be focus up on having a big preseason to change your body composition rather than trying to do that during the year. But that's probably why you heard that before, Declan.
Yeah, that's. I hope that's answered your question, Declan. And if not, send another one and tell us what you actually want to know. All right, so we've got one from Shazza. Shaz up next.
Shaz.
Is Pilates good for weight loss?
Yep. So there's not like one particular exercise or type of exercise that's any better for weight loss than any other one. It's more about all your healthy habits and looking at your lifestyle in context, right? Yeah. So if you enjoy doing Pilates for your physical activity, fucking perfect. You should keep doing that. Don't change that. But if you're trying to lose weight, is Pilates going to help you do that? Yeah, sure, it will do to a degree because, you'll be increasing your strength in your muscles and you're moving a little bit more. However, if you're still eating as much or more, or you're not addressing your food and your diet side of things, doing a couple fucking Pilates sessions ain't probably going to do a whole lot. You know what I mean? So it's really looking at everything. So I love that you're doing that for your exercise and activity. That sounds like a great selection for you because you enjoy it. So keep on doing it. But if you're wanting to lose weight, you have to really look about the calories in and calories out for your day. And there was something else I was going to say on that. Calories in and calories out for the day. You just got to be consistent with it. That's really the main thing. And it's so much about, this is the other thing, is your activity level throughout the day has got a lot to do with the calories that you burn. So you burn calories through, movement. A lot of it in a day is actually just incidental movement, like reaching around, walking, all these little things that you do that you don't even notice that actually take up calories. So if you can increase your steps throughout the day as well and your general activity level by doing that, that would also be a great inclusion whilst also doing Pilates. Yeah, that's good. And it's like you said before, there's not one thing that's better. There's not one, no.
Exactly. So that's
which is what people get stuck on, like, I have to go for a run to fucking lose weight. Fuck that.
I haven't run since 2016. Yeah, I do not plan on doing that.
That's right.
Okay, we've got one here. How much protein should I be consuming as an 80-kilo, 22-year-old wanting to put on size? That's from Nathan.
Great. So with your thanks, Nathan. So your protein intakes, it's more so about consistently hitting a minimum target rather than trying to max it out the whole time. At a minimum, I would be aiming for a male between 1.5 grams and 2 grams per kilo body weight. So for him, let's just say it's 160 grams, 150, 160 grams, something around there for Nathan as a minimum target and keep that consistent. If you go weight, there's sort of like an amount of protein that your body's ideally going to be using in a day. If you go way over it, it's, you're just eating more protein than really like what's necessary for you to do. So I'd be aiming for about 150 to 160 grams for someone your size, Nathan. And then for females, it's a little bit less, but females tend to actually have a little bit more issue with getting their minimum protein up. Usually for guys, it's actually not that big of a thing, but particularly with female clients that I work with, I work around about 1.2 grams to 1.5 grams per kilo of body weight for females.
Yep, right. That's good.
Next.
Hope that answered that. Okay, so we've got one from Cogsy. It's
Cogsy.
So it's night before footy nutrition and day off. So I guess kind of what's kind of the best thing to be eating before a game and kind of
most definitely.
So
a lot of the energy that you use for a workout today is food that you've had yesterday. So for a game of footy, I'd definitely be having something pretty high in carbs for the day before, right? So the reason for that is by having a high carbohydrate meal, you'll increase or store up the glycogen stores that are in your muscles and your body. And those glycogen stores are what you use as your reserve energy and what your muscles use for energy whilst you're doing physical activity. So if you've really stored your muscles up full of those, you've been proactive, you put lots of carbs in, they're going to be pretty full of stores. You're going to have plenty of stored energy ready to go for your game. So that's what I do the day before. So pastas, rice, all that sort of stuff.
I love
all
carbs.
The good stuff. And then the post-football, you're wanting to replenish some of that lost energy, but then also get some protein in to help you recover. So they're the two things that I would be doing. So you can either do that by, easy as supplement a shake or a choc milk. A lot of the footy clubs do that. That's a really easy one to do, and then also getting some carbohydrates in as well.
So what would you suggest, say a lunchtime game, what would you be having breakfast game day?
Everyone's real different as to when they can eat and when they can perform. So you're probably not going to get the benefit of that food that you've ate in the morning if you've got a game. It's just more about it's more the day before. Yeah. So it's really just about making sure that whatever you've got in your stomach can sit in your stomach, okay? I literally need to eat right before I train, like 20 minutes to half an hour before I do any form of activity. I need to eat, otherwise I feel flat. Yeah. And other people need 2 hours or 3 hours, gap, so they don't have it in their stomach. So everyone's going to be very different. And it's just very much you got to play around with that yourself.
Yep. Okay, cool. Thanks, Nath.
Last one, give it to me.
Okay. Now this one's from Anonymous, which is fine. Actually, we've got two left. But this one, I feel out of control with my eating. How do I take control back of that?
Yeah. So, well, nutrition is a hard one, sort of going on what we were talking about, like all the habits and everything before. So if you've got some of these habits that you're trying to break with your nutrition, whether that's, if you're snacking late at night, if it's having higher calorie dense foods, if it's not meal prepping and having the right selections that you're wanting, all that sort of thing, it takes a very long time, like we were just talking about, to break those things. So the thing that that's the biggest issue I think for most people is that they derail themselves by getting really hard on themselves when things don't go to plan with their nutrition. So for example, you start a plan. So the worst part, someone buys a nutrition plan, they fucking go all out for the first week. And then after the first week, they fall over because they've just done it so hot. And then they go, I've just had a bag of M&Ms. I'm throwing it in. It's failed. I'm a failure again. I'm back to square one. This never works. Blah, 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 blah. And then you've just dug yourself into a further hole than what you did even started. And you've just, you've just done this great lot of weeks of work, a week worth of work that you haven't unraveled by doing that one, meal. You've put in all this work. Don't discount all the stuff that you've done, but it does take a long time to break those things. But I think my best advice is small little things that you can change, and you gradually build these little habits on top of each other. So start really small with the diet and then build your way up. Yeah. And don't discourage yourself.
I guess from my point of view as well, like I'm a shocker for it. If I need to do a weekly food shop, I'll just get in the car and go. And then when I get there, I go, oh, you know what? This is BS. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to eat. Let's just get the same old chicken breast, rice and broccoli. But if you're, like you said, a bit proactive, and you can kind of look up.
Which is the same with people that are on the other end of things. If your usual things you do is you buy frozen pies ready to go, then that's what you're going to do. So it's it takes a long time to break those things, but just be nice to yourself as you're doing all that.
And obviously there's no, like you said before, if you have a bag of M&Ms, that's fine too. But like you said, you've got to be consistent with the little things first. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Last one, give it to me.
And this one's from Liv. How would you help someone starting out when they're intimidated by the gym?
So the way that I would, so you don't, number one, you don't have to work out at a gym. Number one, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
You can work out at home, you can work outside. There's all sorts of things that you can do that doesn't involve the gym if that's something that you're so intimidated by. However, to put it into perspective, the gym is there to help you, right? And everything in there, the equipment does not bite. The people don't bite. Nobody actually is looking around and looking at you the whole time.
Everyone's there to do the exact same thing you are.
Everyone's there doing the exact same thing that you are, and that's to get better, better yourself and feel better about yourself. So never feel intimidated by the people in the gym because they're not going to, they're just people and it's just a room and it's just some weights and all that stuff is there to help you do better.
Yeah, 100%. No, I definitely agree.
But I think also the other thing is sometimes if you don't have the right plan in place, so if you're walking into a room where you don't know how any of the equipment works or you don't know what to train or all that sort of thing, I can totally understand how that's intimidating because that's just like me trying to do it, I don't know, trying to do it. And let's say that, you're in a Sparky. It's like me rocking up trying to work out.
Trying to use a drill because you don't
Trying to use a drill.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know.
No,
and that would make me feel intimidated if I was around people that know how to do drills.
Yeah.
Totally
know
understand.
how to do drills.
Yeah.
Use drills.
Totally understand that.
Yeah,
I can relate to that, right? So by having a plan or at least something to follow or someone helping you, that is probably the best way to go about it.
And it's also, again, like you said before, no one's going to bite you in the gym as well. Like I should have, like you think as well. I remember going with Jared the first couple of times and all that stuff. But as soon as you walk in there, and my very first time, I think that I went without you, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do some buys and back. And I was like, right, I know how to bicep curl. And it was like 15 sets of bicep curls. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to ask anyone. Like, bit of anxiety in that. I was like, I'm not going to ask anyone. I'm just going to leave. That's a good workout. But almost like, I would almost encourage to go up and maybe if you see someone that,
get some advice and get some help on the stuff. It makes such a difference.
Can you just, sorry, I don't know how to use this good girl, bad girl machine. Can you just give us a sample, like how do I squat properly? What are the things I should be looking out for? But also there's a lot of good videos out there and instruction videos. Jared has heaps that you can watch as well if you struggle that way.
Most definitely. That was awesome.
Liv. So
that was awesome. Liv. Thank you so much. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for tuning on in for the episode this week. Thank you for Jono for joining me.
No worries, nothing.
Really enjoyed that, and I hope that gave a bit more background about both of our fitness journeys a little bit. And we can't wait to get everybody more involved, and we'd love to hear more about what you'd like included in the podcast, what you want us to talk about. If there's topics, if there's questions, anything we can help you with, we're going to make this a regular slot with me talking about this sort of health and fitness stuff with both Jono and other guests as well. We'll keep bringing you more episodes, but thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to remember to
subscribe,
subscribe,
it goes
follow.
Yep,
it goes a long way.
And
you
also,
know the spill.
No questions are off limits. Jared said he actually wants to really talk about Love Island. So any Love Island questions drop. Of them.
If we get enough interest, I'll do a Love Island episode.
Okay, all right, we'll do that as well because I know a lot of people. If
everybody rates it a big 5 stars, then I definitely will.
Okay, keen for that. All right, sweet. Thanks, guys.